Hi, Ready. Welcome to week 6. I can't believe it's week 6 already. You've been doing some great work, and I'm really excited to see where you go next. I'm really happy to see you getting that so many of you have finished your essay one. That's terrific. Keep going with the work. Make sure you're keeping up with those discussion board posts, because remember, those are the foundation of your writing. Those are where you start doing your writing, and you need to do all the parts of a discussion board post to get full credit. So please make sure that you did all the discussion board from last week, and this week you're going to do it again. This week is kind of like the second time around week. So let me talk a little bit about second reading and doing things a second time. It's really important in college and really other places too, to be able to read things more than once. The readings we do in class are really hard, and if you only read them once, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get a lot. They're too difficult. I read them multiple times. I teach things again and again so that I can really understand them well, and it takes a long time. So I want to talk a little bit about a second reading, because this week you have no new material. It's all the same stuff from last week, but I want you to go into it more deeply. So think about it this way. If you watch a movie a second time, right? Like a lot of us do. A lot of us watch movies again and again and again. And when you watch a movie a second time, you get a lot more out of it. You might notice more details. You might pick up on something you hadn't seen the first time, or you might just like have different thoughts or different ideas, or you might connect something, or you might understand something. Like, have you ever been watching a movie for the second time and been like, oh, that's why that happens. I didn't get that the first time I saw it. So reading things a second time is a lot like watching a movie the second time, or listening to a song a second time, or even like going someplace. So, right, like if you think about going to someplace new, like I find stores really overwhelming. I'm a terrible shopper. I hate shopping. I wouldn't even go to Costco because it's like so overwhelming. And when I go to a new store, like I'm lost and I have a hard time finding my way around until I kind of go a few times and get to understand it, and then I can really get into it, right? Or if you think about like learning the subway. I grew up in New York, and the subway system seems really overwhelming, and you can't get a map of it in your head until you start riding it a while. And then once you get used to it and once you get to know it, you can understand it better, and you understand the details of how it works. So reading is something similar to like going to a store a bunch of times, and then you know where everything is and you understand it, or watching a movie multiple times. So and there's also this, that there's only so much you can take in at once, right? Like, so this Isabel Wilkerson reading, I'm reading it again, and there's like a lot of stuff I just didn't get the first time because my brain was really busy with the big ideas and didn't get the details. So a second time reading it, or a third time reading it, okay, I don't have to spend so much time just trying to understand her main points. I can spend more time understanding some of the details and nuances she's getting at, right? Nuances are like those subtle things that can slip by you the first time you do something. So that's why a second reading is really important. So when you read something a second time, you might be getting more details. You might be asking more questions. You might be understanding those details more deeply than you did the first time you read it. You might be making connections, right? Like you might see like, oh, this part relates to this part, or oh, this part relates to something else you read. Or you might have more reactions. It may be that the first time you read it, you were just drowning and just trying to understand it. And then the second time you kind of have your feet a little more, and you might react more and be like, why did she say that? Or what does she mean by that? Or I disagree, or wow, whatever. So make sure on your second reading that you're digging into it more deeply. And so for this week, you're going to read Cast again, and you're going to watch The Daily Show again. So here, let's go into the folder and take a look at some of the stuff that we have going on this week. So this week, you have your second discussion board post. So what I did here, I did one as an example. I went back to my own post, and I watched the Wilkerson video again, and I added more. So here's my original post, and here's your responses to it, which are really interesting and really good, and I hope we all stop using the word Caucasian. But which I think is really offensive to people of color, not just like white people. I don't like it because I think it's offensive to people of color. But anyway, I'm not going to go there right now. Okay, so I added more to what I had said in my post, and I changed the color just so that I know for me. So I was thinking more about like what I had said about inequality being bad for everybody, and then I was adding a connection with what Wilkerson said in her video about, she says, caste is the bones of our society. Race is like the skin. It's like how we put people in different castes. And she said class is how we act. It's like our manners and how we talk and how we present ourselves. And I really think that's a very, very inadequate way of thinking about class. I disagree with her so much that I think she must not actually mean that, because she's a pretty smart person, and I don't think she would imagine that class is just how we act and not actually how much money we have and how we live. So that's what I put here. So that's what you should be doing, is going back to your post and building more into it and replying to people more, and maybe do it in a different color so that you know what was your original ideas and what are your newer ideas. And that will help you get into the reading and into the ideas more deeply. Okay, and then we also have expanded annotations. So I put an example here. So what you're going to do is, last week you turned in your annotations. You're going to take that same thing, that same document that you turned in last week, and you're going to add more to it. Okay, so you're going to take those two assignments and, oh, I'm sorry, you're not going to use the same. I asked you to use a different document. You're going to take what you did last week. You're going to take two annotations from it. You're going to put them in a new document, and you're going to do more with them. So I gave you an example here where, like, I have the annotations from last time, and I put more, and I put more about each of my annotations, and then I added in a whole new annotation that was something that I saw in CAST that I hadn't seen the first time around. Okay, so for your expanded annotations, you are, wait, let me go up here a little bit. Okay, you're choosing two annotations from what you turned in last week. You're putting them in a new document, and then you're adding more. Okay, and here's some ideas of what you might add. And notice that we're trying to build these ideas over time, so that when you get to your essay 2 assignment, you'll be ready for it, because it's a pretty challenging assignment we have coming up. I'm going to post it in the lessons folder for this week, even though it's not due for a while, just so you can see it and be thinking about it. Okay, so that's your annotations. And then the other thing I'm asking you to start this week is your personal dictionary. So we're talking about a lot of different words, and I'd like you to start thinking like just keeping like a dictionary for yourself. So I put some of my words up there. I defined some, others I'm still thinking about, but your personal dictionary will be a way for you to like collect important words and important ideas over the course of the semester. And then at the end of the semester, this dictionary is going to be your final project. So you're going to have essay 2, and then you're going to have, that's going to take us through to spring break. And then after spring break, you're going to have another essay, and then you're going to turn in your personal dictionary as a final assignment. It's probably going to be some writing or presentation that goes along with it. So build your personal dictionary now. Create a thread in this discussion board and start putting your ideas there, and you can always go back and add your ideas to that thread, and I can comment on them. You should also probably do this like in a notebook or in a document on your computer. So you're building your personal dictionary to collect words and collect ideas to like help your brain grow. Like words are thoughts. Words are important. Words are powerful. And the more words you have and the more ideas you have, the more you can do with them. Okay, so I hope that kind of gives you an overview of this week. We'll have our usual classes. I'm going to have some open office hours again on Friday if you want to drop in and ask any questions. Please make sure that you're working a little bit at a time all week long. If you wait until Friday to do all your work, you're going to be miserable. But if you break it up and do it throughout the week, it's not going to be so hard. And I think that's it. Okay, have a great week, everybody.